Wenta, y siaradwr nesaf hefyd o Plantlife. Hi ydi swyddog cysylltiadau natur Plantlife ac mae wedi teithio yr holl ffordd o Gaerdydd chwarae teg i fod yma heddiw. Croeso cynnes cas Crocker. Croeso.
Hi, Paul. I think it's still morning. I'm Cass Crocker. I'm the the Nature Connections Officer for Plantlife. And I wanted to contextualise some of what Dave was saying about our work with bridging the gap between people and plants. So I've been engaging people in conservation for quite some time and in built heritage as well. I also have a background in arts, so it's really quite special to be here with artists here today. I'm going to give you a whistle-stop tour around Plantlife's work, our goals, what we do to connect people with plants, and also developing our people and culture work. So we were founded in 1989. We're a membership organisation with around 23,000 members. And our mission is to secure a world rich in plants and fungi. And we promote the importance of all plants and fungi. We own and manage 23 nature reserves in England, Scotland and Wales. We advise land managers and publish best practice guidance. It's come through the microphone now, sorry guys. Publish best practice guidance and carry out research. We collaborate on the world stage increasingly. And we created the No Mo May campaign that some of you may have heard about. It kind of became bigger than Plantlife in some ways, so we're kind of re-owning that. It's been quite a success story. So we work in four key strategic areas. That's to protect and restore, and we spend a lot of time in that area. That's the kind of the bread and butter of the stuff we do. We connect people with nature, work in partnerships and collaborate and influence. Our main habitat leadership programmes include grassland, global, species recovery and rainforest, which of course Dave's been covering here. But increasingly we're looking at connecting people with nature. That's becoming a really key piece of our work. And we're investing more time in growing our understanding and the importance of that. Sir David Attenborough famously said, no one will protect what they don't care about, and no one will care about what they've never experienced. We're really starting to understand how important that is for us. And so the Connect and Restore is the key strategic area I'm interested in. We've been, as I said, looking into nature connectivity more and more, but the key bit is the nature connectedness, and there's lots of research happening out of the University of Derby at the moment about the importance of that for species, sector and society. And Professor Miles Richardson from the University of Derby said that the three most important issues of our time, that's climate emergency, biodiversity loss and the mental health crisis, all have one thing at their heart, and that's the relationship between people and nature. The sector's really started to wake up to that correlation. This is what I call botanist facts and bottoms, building up a collection of these pictures. You'll quite often see groups of botanists around a tree. I'm working on like an A1 poster, I reckon. So my colleagues naturally get wonder and awe out of these spaces. As you can see, they're just completely consumed. What we hope by connecting with people with nature is that they're fulfilled, happy and well, and if we're really honest, that they then start to act and stand up for plants and fungi. I think that the traditional conservation engagement toolkit is one of citizen science, surveying, and basically sharing the love of what our ecologists do. But these guys, with their hand lenses as their portal, they're transported into a landscape of total wonder. And I think they probably temporarily forget about the rest of the world around them. And I guess it's probably quite meditative. I imagine they have the associated benefits of things like Shinrin Yoku, forest bathing, so perhaps have lower heart rates, blood pressure, a souped up immune system, and improved feelings of happiness and creativity. And these guys are very connected with nature, probably because they literally have their heads buried in it. So we're starting to think about, well, that's a connection through science in some ways, but how else do people connect with nature? So I mentioned the University of Derby, so lots of their work is doing a deep sort of dive into the ways we can connect. So that could be through emotion, beauty, meaning, senses and compassion. And I think the key thing about the research is everybody connects in a different way, but it's not just about kind of being in nature, it's about how you actually connect with it. There's no kind of right or wrong way, but I guess kind of taking a scrambler bike up Molly Bog or something might not be the way that we would traditionally think as connected with nature. And there are two fundamental types of that kind of connection, about that pursuit of pleasure, and they're hedonism and eudaimonism, I think that's how you pronounce it. And so what we promote really, I guess, is that idea of pursuing eudaimonic happiness, which is pursuit of authenticity, meaning, virtue and growth. So if you're really kind of learning about your kind of nature around you and caring about it, it's kind of going to give you a more sustained and greater connection to nature, arguably. And then the critical thing, this sort of image on the right, is the link between nature connection and action. People with a closer relationship with nature are prepared to do more to protect it. And from our perspective, that's the really critical thing. So Western science is only one way of one part of the story. So classification, Darwinism, nomenclature, the naming of stuff, it's just one side of things. And we're reminded not to forget our instinctive and reciprocal relationship with nature, to remember that we are nature and not separate to it. Contrary to what the dictionary say, if you look at nature, then it's everything but humans, which is interesting. So I think we now are coming to accept that we are, but the dictionary don't say that. And this symposium is, I think, is really exciting because it asks us to, or reminds us to rethink that relationship, draws our attention to the felled tree in a context of its woodland community, of lichens that have developed over deep time. It reminds us to feel gratitude and love, and perhaps a blueprint to return to ritual, the antithesis of our fast consumerist world, a return to the wisdom of emotion, perhaps. And so, from an organisational point of view, we're thinking about how we engage with people, not just from a science and learn perspective. We're thinking more about how arts and culture plays a part too. You'll see that I've called our work people and culture. I've sort of moved away from the word art because certainly in our sector drums up perhaps consumerist ideas of owning stuff, whereas as you were talking about earlier, that process and that thinking that goes behind it is really important. And we want to promote sustainability as well, of course, that's really key. So process over form. And we hope this strand of work will help build human and planetary resilience to motivate action and transform behaviour. Dave talked about lichens being kind of sort of the gauge of the atmosphere's kind of health. Well, I think maybe artists are a litmus paper for what society feels like and kind of expresses what's going on. So I think I've probably read that somewhere, that idea of artists being a litmus paper, but quite like that. And about hearing different people's voices and kind of expressing different ways of thinking. So what does that mean? What are we actually doing? So we're hoping to attend more events like this and speak to different people who are, not just like us and just conservationists. It's actually getting out there and talking. We want to understand how other people connect with nature. We've worked in collaboration with NRW and some other environmental NGOs to deliver an art commissioning programme that's rolling out at the moment. Keep an eye out for that. That's through Nature and Bith. We're starting to hold talks with different artists, to get different voices coming through to our member organisations. We've had one pilot artist residency programme, and we're hoping to, if it all goes to plan, to roll out maybe 5 years of residencies coming up. So we've got that coming up as well. And so what we'd really like from today is for you to come and chat to us after lunch. We want to hear what you think. We want you to share your ideas with us. We want to understand what relationship you think there is between arts, culture and conservation. And we want to understand your relationship with nature and so we give everybody a voice. Thank you very much.
You must be in the middle of the picture. Oh my God. Oh, yeah.